He should have been inside that night, not out in the snow. A young black Labrador pressed himself against the bottom step of an abandoned cabin, his body forming a shallow hollow in the drift. Warm light spilled from the cabin behind him, yet he kept every paw in the icy air. His body trembled, not with excitement or play, but with careful, slow tension. My name is Eli Matthews and I live just outside Duluth, Minnesota. The weather report warned that any dog left outside could freeze before morning. Yet here was this young dog, waiting, watching, refusing warmth. I stepped closer, speaking softly, careful not to startle him. His eyes followed every movement of my hands, not my face. I placed a bowl of warm food a little away from the doorway. Slowly, cautiously he approached, sniffing each step, eating in tiny bites. When the bowl was empty, he sniffed toward the cabin, hesitated at the threshold, and then back into the snow hollow he had claimed. He trusted the cold more than walls. I understood then. He had been hurt before, and safety wasn't a doorway. I returned to my truck and brought a blanket and a foam mat, placing half on the threshold and half on the snow. I sat a few feet back, letting him choose. Slowly the dog approached, nose to my boots, front paws on the mat, back paws in snow. He froze. Then he circled, folding back into his hollow, pressed against the cabin. I didn't push. I let him decide. That night, I left a camera and a small bowl, keeping the cabin door slightly open. I knew trust couldn't be rushed. Morning came. The footage showed him cautiously exploring, testing the mat and bowl, stepping toward warmth but retreating when fear whispered. He was learning slowly that this place would not hurt him, that warmth and comfort could exist alongside the cold he had once trusted. Over the next few days, I built a small three-sided shelter near the cabin, lined with straw, blankets, and a rug. I kept it simple, a space where he could feel safe, see the woods, and breathe the cold air if he chose. Slowly, he began moving from his hollow to the shelter, inch by inch, choosing warmth on his terms. Hours passed. He stepped just far enough onto the rug, sniffed the straw, and returned to the snow. Then, gradually, he began lying under the roof, curling his young body on the straw without pressing himself to danger. Each day he grew more confident, exploring closer, breathing easier, resting his paws on warmth, yet always with an eye on freedom. Finally, the day came when he fully stepped inside without hesitation. I sat on the floor, letting him approach, offering no force, just patience. His teeth still chattered, but he pressed against my lap, eyes wide, trusting. Slowly, he exhaled a long sigh, finally at ease. Weeks passed. He moved freely between snow and shelter, choosing warmth on his own. That's when a couple from out of town came, ready to meet the brave black Labrador. I told them his story, a dog who had survived fear and frost, a dog who would eat from your hand but might never trust a closed door again. They knelt. He sniffed. And then, for the first time, his tail wagged like a playful puppy. They named him Cinder after the way he had rested at the edge of someone else's fire. Now, in his new home, doors are always left slightly open, paths are clear. He still checks before stepping inside, still cautious, but he chooses. Cinder is free, not just from the snow, but from fear. And that's the lesson. Every stray or abandoned dog carries a history we may never fully understand. Patience, respect, and quiet consistency can transform fear into trust and snow into home.